What's up guys, my name is Timbo and welcome back to some more Destiny. I know I probably sound like a broken record when I say this, but it's been a hot minute since I've made a video. I've been on break for the past month or so and honestly didn't feel like lugging my entire desktop home with me. So videos were non-existent for the Christmas season in January, plus I got sick. But I'm back now with plenty of new content coming, including a couple of new series. You know what I'm trying to say. Ending explained videos when new games come out, and some Destiny stuff from time to time. Back in April of last year, I covered a leak with a bunch of information about Destiny 3. I'll leave a link to that video if you're curious, but it might not be relevant anymore. A lot has changed in the world of Destiny since that leak came out, and so I figured it would be a good time to follow up on that and see where things are now with the future of Destiny. Explaining why many people think Destiny 3 will come out this year is probably the best place to start. The roadmaps for both Destinies 1 and 2 are very similar. They're so alike that one could practically call them identical. Destiny typically releases large amounts of content in September, with smaller expansions and live updates sprinkled throughout the year. To give you guys a direct comparison, Destiny 1 launched in 2014 and had two smaller expansions, The Dark Below and The House of Wolves, which both kinda sucked by the way, come out during the remainder of 2014 and the summer of 2015. The Taken King released in September 2015 and basically fixed the entire game. Different live updates came out after that until Rise of Iron released as the final Destiny 1 DLC in 2016, which had a great raid, but was generally just okay. Destiny 2 came out this September after that with its own two brief DLCs, which were also complete trash. This was followed by Forsaken, aka The Taken King 2.0, and then Shadowkeep, which is where we are now. So if the trend continues, the next full Destiny game should be coming out this year. However, this is probably not the case anymore. And now we can get into why that is. It can really be boiled down into one simple phrase. Bungie and Activision split up. Say what you want about Activision, but they were the corporate side of Destiny that had a majority of the money and resources, mainly in the marketing and funding department. Now that's not to say that Destiny isn't better off without Activision or that they can't market the game themselves, but it's certainly a lot harder. Activision had studios and manpower helping develop the game. Without them there anymore, Bungie has to do a lot more of the work themselves. Creating an entirely different game while also producing significant content releases for the existing one isn't an easy task. Not to mention the fact that Bungie tries to continually update Destiny with new exotics, gear, quests, events, missions, etc. Doing all of this stuff at once doesn't sound possible if they want to change Destiny enough to warrant releasing an entirely new iteration. But beyond manpower and Activision's deep pockets, what are other indicators hinting that Destiny 3 isn't coming anytime soon, if ever? Quite honestly, to do that, we can look at the current state of Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has evolved a lot since it first came out, and going even further than that, Destiny 2 was already a lot different from Destiny 1 in the first place. It's important to remember that Destiny 1 came out for Xbox 360 and PS3. There weren't a ton of players on those platforms, especially as time went on, but they were platforms Bungie tried to keep up with. The 360 and PS3 versions of Destiny began showing their age with The Taken King. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the rings in the Touch of Malice didn't spin or something stupid like that. But those little limitations turn into game-breaking changes, culminating with Rise of Iron only coming out for PS4 and Xbox One due to specific sections of the raid not being playable on last gen. The Siege engine would essentially make an Xbox 360 frickin' blow up or something, I don't even know. Because of the hardware limits when the first game was developed, it made sense to start from scratch and create a brand new experience that is up to date with current technology. Because of this, Destiny 2 was solely designed for PS4, Xbox One, and for the first time, PC Master Race. And Bungie took full advantage of this with 4K support and tons of new graphical and performance improvements, mainly in the department of particle effects. While there are plans to move away from PS4 and Xbox One soon, the differences between the new consoles and the old ones are perhaps not as drastic as they were in the past. The Xbox 360 and PS3 came out around 2006, meaning that they were over 10 years old by the time Destiny 2 was about to release. If Destiny 3 existed, the Xbox One and PS4 would only be about 6 to 7 years old, and that doesn't take consoles such as the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X into account. Not to mention the game being on PC plays a factor in this as well. All this to say, Destiny 2 was partially made due to hardware limitations manifested from the first game. Destiny 2 doesn't seem to have that problem and probably won't for some amount of time. To warrant creating a new game, there has to be a strong reason for it. While Destiny 2 arguably has a few of those reasons, none of them are quite as strong as they were for Destiny 1. And despite having obvious motives last time to develop a new game, there were still many people complaining that Destinies 1 and 2 weren't very distinct. If Bungie wanted to create a brand new game, it should be more innovative than their frequent content updates or even something like Forsaken. And that's probably the most significant point to make in this entire video. There's really just no reason to make Destiny 3, at least not anytime soon. Being split up from Activision, Bungie took Destiny and catered it towards their most dedicated fans. They made the base content free to play and have been structuring the game as such ever since. With this in mind, it seems more likely that Bungie would continue to update Destiny 2 with new content. It's certainly easier, arguably more financially beneficial, and more coherent and consistent. Destiny has had an identity crisis for a really long time, and I've been pointing that out for years. But recently it seems like Bungie has decided the type of game they want Destiny to be, and have run with that. Instead of it being a casual shooter with new and heavily advertised iterations coming every few years, such as Call of Duty or Madden, Destiny feels much more like a full-fledged live service game. With the current state it's in, it seems a lot more likely that Bungie will continue to keep its existing player base together and update Destiny 2 with new content until hardware or graphics begin to limit them again. Or the fact that the game will eventually become like 600 gigs. But that in itself is another reason. Like, if Bungie keeps adding Destiny 1 content into Destiny 2, it would be kind of stupid to scrap all that content again and make a new game from scratch. And like I said, if you're going to take all the content from Destiny 2, add some new stuff, and slap the words Destiny 3 on the box, you might as well just release a DLC for Destiny 2. You can make the argument that creating a new Destiny game would allow Bungie to make drastic changes and additions to the way Destiny plays, such as, space battles. Perhaps. But I don't really know if they want to. The formula for Destiny works, and it's probably better to stick with it. I do realize I could be totally wrong. Destiny 3 will be announced in like a week from now, and I'll look like a big old goof. But honestly, I always look like a big goof anyway, so I don't even care. I could talk about this longer, but I think you guys get the point by now. While I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a new Destiny game come out, I think it's far more likely that the darkness or whatever is coming next will happen in another Forsaken-like DLC. I kind of cringe and hold my breath while I say that because I could be entirely off, but we'll just have to wait and see. If you guys enjoyed this video, leaving a positive rating is greatly appreciated. For more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure to check out the links I've provided in the description for more ways to support the channel, as well as discounts on gear like Astro headsets and Cuts clothing. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.